Welcome to another episode of City Skylines. It's been quite a while since I've actually been in here, and we have done quite a few things. I think I actually deleted the clips for the previous episode that I had recorded, which is a bit unfortunate, but never mind that. We have ourselves an airport, as you can see in the top corner. I'll just quickly fix up this water that I neglected. And do that, and did that. So you can see we've got ourselves a pretty big airport. It is a little bit different from what we had earlier. We've still got trash problems over here, which is not great. And the airport is slowly producing a few things not used. That's not great. Not really sure how to fix that though, but I think it looks somewhat decent. It's essentially two separate hubs, one here and one here, with a few decorations in the middle. But let us have a look at our public transport, because that is the biggest revolution since you last saw me, and we've got ourselves a slightly different outlook here. So I redid every single one of the what do we call the metro areas. So there is quite a few bits. This and each of these hubs are still existent. You can probably not quite see them, but most of them have one loop going on the outside, and then north loop and a south loop. Where there's one over here which had 4 loops. I changed it to one that goes on the outside and then one that leaps its way all the way through here. But overall, I think it's working pretty well. What do we have there? Yes, that's right. And I have put in exactly 100 bus loops. If we just have a look at that, every single one of those are a bus that is in my home city. And each of them is doing a reasonable job of collecting passengers. There are a couple which are probably underperforming, probably not as good as I would have hoped, but that doesn't matter too much because we are trying to keep people off our roads, and we had about 10,000 people before our upgrade, and now we've got about 20,000, 17,000. The number of metros has gone down significantly, but the number of passengers on the buses has gone up significantly. So that is very good to see. And this one is still carrying a bulk of the passengers. So let us get into what we want to do today. Now, I've been watching a few videos by a few other YouTubers who play City Skylines, and one especially by City Planner Play. They've just gotten to that for the last couple of days, and it's given me a few ideas as to how to improve the city. Now, if we look in here, let's have a look. We can see, not that, we can see we've got ourselves a very wide area in the middle, which is being underutilized, and we could probably fit another 2 houses in there or something. So, or maybe 3 houses, I'm not really sure, but the point is, it is very underutilized. This entire area is very underutilized. This area is underutilized. Same with Collingwood and same with Richmond up here. So what we're going to be doing over time, probably not all in once, is to slowly go through this area and update each area. So what we're probably going to do is, I think I can afford to do it at the moment, is to just get this grid and unzone this entire, well, not that. Yeah, let's unzone this entire area, and that is going to cause a massive exodus of people, which is a little bit unfortunate. While we're doing that, we will go through and also get rid of all... Oh wait, no, there's a metro there, isn't there? That's going to be a bit of a problem, actually. So, yeah, there's metros there as well. Okay, and the bus loops. I didn't think about that, did I? Okay, yeah, let us... Yes, get rid of the bus loops now, which is going to be a bit harder than it looks. The bus loop, we're just going to have to delete them, which is unfortunate, but nothing we can do about that for now. 85, not going to remember the lines, so let's just get rid of the lines, and then we will get rid of the roads and the metro, and we will be back shortly once we've got all that and done all the roads. And while I'm doing it, I actually realized these metro lines are some of the most underutilized ones in the entire map. I had 3 metro lines going through here, and they were doing a collective probably about 20 passengers. So it wasn't great to start with. When do I need that line? No, I don't need that one, I think, but I do need this one. Anyway, let's get rid of this and see how we go. Okay, so that took a little bit longer than I thought it would, but we are back. So now, one of the basic ideas that the City Planner Plays had is to go with exact patterns. We're going to get rid of that thing there. So exact grids. So if you can see there, we've got overlap. I had something like there, which does have a significant space in the middle over there. What we really want to do is snap it exactly right. If we can get this, that'd be great. So something like that. I did do the side on this one, which is not great because now we're going to disobey what Biffa says and have two sections very close to each other. So let's get rid of all our former industrial area and continue work on this. So something like that, and make its way all the way across. And same here. No, let's go. Where is it? Come on. Like that. No. Like that. There. No. Come on. There we go. So that's going to take a little while to build up. So let's get this done. And hopefully I have done the roads far enough apart that I've actually got this one. Is this going to work? No. So we're going to have to get rid of this road down here and make our way slowly a little bit more down to the highway or freeway, whatever you like to call it. So I'm going to get started on making this into an exact grid pattern and come back with the zoning in a little while. And there we go, we've got ourselves a perfectly aligned grid pattern. You may have noticed I also did a major road on the top and a major road on the bottom, which is not something I noticed that City Planner Plays does, but I think this is going to help us with traffic problems. Now with our major intersections, I probably could have put a roundabout there, but that is going to mess up all our very nice patterns. So we're just going to make do with, instead of having the 2-lane turning road, we're going to make do with a 3-lane turning road, and as Biffa would say, biffify this junction. So one turning lane each way. I'm not sure, do I go can I? No, I want that one right and like that. So each one needs to have its own turning lane, and so therefore the traffic is going to be a little bit better. So each lane gets their own one, and then over here I don't think it matters so much. This is another one of those big junctions, so we're going to make sure we've got one for each way. Get rid of that one. Each one needs to have its own lane. Let's get rid of that and that. And ideally, once again, a roundabout would be great, but no room. So, the one where it's a T intersection is going to be a little bit different, and I think that's going to have to do one each way. So, yeah, not great, but we can make do with it. In fact, is there a different one I could do here? I'll have to think about that. So, let us get into zoning, which is probably the next most important part. So we don't want to just go bam with a whole lot of residential or commercial or whatnot. We want to plan this a little bit more carefully. Now, City Planner Place does need to take care of health, which we don't have to, and he does need to take care of education, which we don't have to because we're in the end game stage and we've got the 2 monuments that take care of that. We're still going to have to take care of fire and of police, but we shall do that when we've got a little bit more time. Or sorry, not a little bit more time, a little bit more space. So I'm going to cut here and just watch the video again and see exactly what I need to do to maintain my patterns. Now, my basic understanding of how he does it is just to have little pockets of industry here and there, although centered around some of these major roads. So you can see these major intersections. I've got my commercial just to give it a little bit of noise protection, because commercial doesn't mind having those. So if I just go like that and then expand across here, we don't really need to worry about this section because we're not going to be expanding towards the farm anymore. And that is going to be good. I probably should put a bit of commercial across this entire area, but I'm not certain I want to do that yet. Residential is working out pretty well, so we're going to keep that going as well. Residential here. Let's zone this entire section residential. So this section is slowly going to grow over time and continue to grow. We did lose a fair bit of population. We're at about 250, I think, maybe 1,000, and now we are, well, clearly not. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that at some point. Now we do have a rubbish down here, so we might be better. Let me see. We may be a good idea to make Now I'm going to have to make this Z-zone that and make this commercial, so I can make this industrial in this too. Industrial here, get rid of that, industrial there, and then do a commercial line here around it like that, and that should give it a bit of protection and a bit of commercial. Nothing there, so that should protect off the commercial area. In fact, let's just expand our Churnside Park a little bit more, and that should be good. So what I've also done is I've made this area farming commercial, farming industrial, which is going to mean that it's going to be a little bit better on our pollution. And this is not electricity. Probably should have thought about that as well. Electricity is going to be a bit of a problem because I don't actually have anything connected. So I might need to think about that as I grow the city, this part again. I've been letting the game run for a little bit, and I reckon this part of town is working quite well. It is slowly improving, but I think at some point we might change it up a little bit, so this half of the town on the left-hand side is maybe forestry or oil or something, and this half will maintain its farming mechanism. I'm not really sure how yet, but it is slowly going. So at some point I am going to go through each and every single one of these sections, slowly improving it so it is more highly packed like this, and we should be able to see how many people we get. We are still slowly losing citizens, 700 minus 700 a week, but I think we are going to be getting that back. I think that's mostly because I destroyed a couple of houses here when I changed it from residential to commercial. Now, one of the other things you might notice is that all the way across the city, we are seeing all these lack of goods things. And I tried to remedy that by doing this thing over here. And you can see it's not really working. It's got a lot of people trying to get in, trucks trying to get in, and trucks trying to get out. And presumably trucks trying to go all over the city. So we're going to fix that up at some point. So that's probably going to be a longer term project as we make more areas into something like this, more spread out, more. What's the idea? A little bit more planned like this. So with the roads, we're going to have more industrial and of course offices in between all the residential, and continuing on from there. So I'm going to make all that residential because we do need a bit more residential, and continue on. Over here, I did make a little bit of a park, which isn't really doing much at the moment because there aren't any people, but it is an idea, and I probably might do a couple more around here, or I might look at getting the Park Life DLC, which I don't have yet. So, a few future plans. Well, I've been playing around it for a little while now, and I'm still seeing masses of problems with the goods. Now, I think there's two problems we need to solve here at the moment. We've got a good section here and a good section here, and I suppose a little bit over down here, and these three sections, or two and a bit really, have to supply the entire city. Now, at some point I think I need to remodel the entire city, which is probably going to take ages, and I'm probably going to see a lot of population loss through this town. So the first thing I'm probably going to do is get rid of Glen Ferris, because I think this is not helping matters. If we look in here, if we look at our zoning, we've got massive sections of, well, not a lot of population, so that's not going to hurt. We've got a lot of commercial here, a lot of offices, which is going to help us get rid of a little bit more of our good section. So yeah, this section has to go, I reckon. So let's get rid of that. And with our public transport, we are going to have to get rid of all these buses and probably the train lines as well, which is going to be irksome, but we can do it. So we have dropped a little bit on our passengers. We are still doing about 16,000 a week. So yeah, I think, yeah, I'm probably just gonna work on this off camera as usual and see how we go. You can see there barely anyone on that one. Off it goes. With this one, yeah, reasonable amount of people, and so on. So I think most of the bus lines aren't really doing much. There's 4 on that one for some reason. That one, this one has a reasonable amount of people, and so on and so forth. So Glen Ferris is going to go, and we are going to probably move them all down to Churnside Park, hopefully. I'm just hoping that I get a significant rise in the number of people that I need to service. So let's just get that going. And this clip's actually been recorded after I did the ending clip, which is next. But what I'm thinking of doing over the next little while is getting the After Dark and potentially the Green Cities and maybe Snowfall. Probably not Snowfall, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm thinking of getting a couple of the DLCs which will enhance, hopefully, our gameplay. The Green Cities, especially with recycling, will probably help us a bit. And maybe Park Life is the other one as well. There's a few I'm got my eye on, but I'm probably just waiting for a bit of a deal just to get them really, really cheap. At any rate, I am looking at those, and they will probably, hopefully, make an appearance in this city. The other option is at some point to start a new city in which I get a lot more water, I'm thinking, and a little bit more spread out city. So I'm not going to do one massive city like I've got here, but I'm going to do little pockets here and there. So hopefully that is something to look forward to in the future. Looking over my city, I'm starting to wonder if I have too many offices, because offices do take up some of the industrial zone areas, but you can see here I've got huge swathes of offices through here, and over here, a little bit down here as well, and I did put in this little section here, because I wasn't really sure what to do. But the problem is offices do take up some of the industrial zone, and you can see through the entire city we are struggling to fit everything. So we are probably going to have to take out a fair bit of the city in order to redo this. So yes, I am going to be bracing for massive population loss, but I think it's going to come back slowly. So I am probably going to work on this mostly off camera. So what I'm going to do here is end today's episode, and hopefully in a little while I will be coming back and going through all of this again, just working on this entire city to make it a little bit more functional, a little bit more densely packed, because I think this technically is my most densely packed area, even though it is actually low density. You can see 126 wealth, which is probably not a very good indicator. That's 129. Collingwood, which is a massive area, 132. Richmond, 131. I don't even know why I'm going through this. But overall, I think this area is starting to look a lot better. You can see here, reasonably densely packed. There are some areas in which we are missing some, what do we call them, commercials. So we can probably take out a couple of these things, like that, and let's put in some more residential. There we go. We only need pockets of these here and there, and I think a supermarket and a super pharmacy on the corner just about suit that. So plans for while I'm off camera in between episodes is to work on probably Glade Hills and Macquarie Park, turning them into a little bit more functional areas, which will mean getting rid of a whole lot of that. And then the bits I'm not looking forward to, tackling Richmond and Collingwood. I'm probably going to split Collingwood into two, maybe quite potentially put a freeway somewhere in here, probably starting maybe here actually, since that's a good area, and going along the railway line and connecting in somewhere along here, just to split up Collingwood just a bit, because it has 127,000 people, and that is quite a bit. So yes, and that will also allow us to zone a couple more extra bits. So we do need a or what do we call it? We need an oil only in factories, and we need some tree only factories. So quite a bit to work on, and hopefully that will solve our massive goods problems. So thank you for watching. We shall see you soon. Goodbye.